Let's bring in Fox News contributor and host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, Guy Benson, and the Big Weekend Show co-host and Outkick host, Tomi Lahren. It's great to see you both. Tomi, I want to start with you, and also congratulations on the Big Weekend Show. So happy for you on that. But I want to get your opinion on this. I actually don't think that some of these firings go far enough. I think if you're a surgeon or you're a doctor and you celebrate the assassination and the murder of another human being, you can't be trusted to hold the oath of your position. You can't be trusted with that position. I think you should lose your medical license. What do you think?
You know, Lisa, this is a difficult one because, as we just heard from the great Charlie Kirk, free speech was so important to him. It's so important to all of us, and a lot of us count ourselves free speech absolutists in a lot of ways. But if you are celebrating the assassination of a political thought leader or celebrating the murder or assassination of anyone, for that matter, you're not a victim of cancel culture. You were advertising your own indecency for the world to see, and your employer decided that you shouldn't be in a forward-facing role, that you shouldn't interact with the public, to your earlier point. But I also have to share something that Charlie Kirk told me maybe 8 or 9 years ago. He said, free speech isn't just saying what you want to say, it's also hearing what you don't want to hear. So while I agree that some of these individuals should certainly be punished and suspended, I think it's also important to see who among us is celebrating the assassination, who's celebrating murder and celebrating evil. We deserve to know who those people are, and they are showing themselves certainly on social media.
You know, Guy, I agree with Tomi. I'm a free speech absolutist. But there's a responsibility here. And to Lisa's point, you work for someone, you represent that employer in some way, and they have a right to say that you don't represent us properly. But I reject that it's cancel culture by conservatives. After all, we're not saying you are to be canceled. Employers are making a decision based on what these people have done. It's a self-inflicted wound, but the left now wants to use cancel culture because it's a catchphrase.
Well, the left loves cancel culture, and they've called it accountability culture. And they say free speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. And the argument that a lot of us have made against cancel culture and the excesses of cancel culture, which have gotten insane over the last decade in particular, is they have taken things that are well within the mainstream that would have never gotten you fired in the past and turned them into litmus tests to get people thrown out of polite society, thrown out of their jobs, etc. The argument has never been that there should be no standards at all. It's just that, at least in my view, the bar of tolerance for speech should be set extremely high before we start punishing people for it. Not the government, that's the First Amendment, we can't do that. I'm talking about social consequences. The bar should be high. I think there are very few things that would fall into the category that we would say, if you say this publicly, you should lose your job. But one of those things, in my mind, a bright line that we should enforce, a guardrail in our society, is celebrating murder, justifying and applauding and endorsing murder of political opponents. If that is not taboo in our society, then we will lose our society. So I think this is one of the most egregious things you can say, and therefore I agree it does not qualify in my mind as cancel culture or run amok cancel culture to see people losing their positions of employment, especially those who have positions of public trust, teachers, medical professionals, public officials, etc.
But it's also beyond public trust. It's an issue of safety. If you are a doctor and you're tasked with potentially saving someone's life, and you think that someone deserves to die or be assassinated because of his or her political beliefs, you can no longer be trusted in that position to administer the adequate care. So I think it's beyond a speech issue, it's a safety issue. But, Tomi, I want to get you on this as well. So Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has been slammed for her response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And now some Republicans are ramping up pressure to strip her of her committee assignments. President Trump weighed in just moments ago. I want to get your take on the other side of this.
Ilhan Omar, after his assassination, called Charlie Kirk a reprehensible human being. Should she be stripped of her committee assignments?
I would say, I think she's a disgraceful person. I think she's a disgraceful person, a loser. It's amazing the way people vote. I know it's people from her area, maybe of the world. I don't know. They got here and they vote her in. It's hard to believe, but I think she's a disgusting person.
Tommy, I'm going to guess you're not going to disagree with him on some of those labels and, that he just assigned her. But what about the committee assignments?
Yeah, he's not wrong. Listen, I don't know if you should go so far as to punish someone with ripping their committee assignments. A lot of this is performative, of course, when it comes to Congress, and we've seen this many times. I would say what would be more powerful would be her constituents and those who voted for her, maybe them having a say. Maybe don't elect people who speak this way. Maybe don't elect people to represent you that hold these beliefs and say these things. I think that's far more effective than any form of cancel culture or stripping assignments or punishing somebody. If you are an elected official, your constituents should decide that they don't want to be represented by this. And I think it's also fair to mention this is far from the only thing that she said that most people would find reprehensible and repugnant.
But, Guy, in order for that to happen, and I agree with Tommy that it's up to her voters, which tells us something, by the way, about the people who vote for her. It's not just about what she says once in office if they keep putting her back. But then the opposition has to go in, and this presents an opportunity. Matter of fact, this entire disgusting situation we're in right now with Charlie Kirk presents an opportunity for conservatives to go out and make an argument in Ilhan Omar's district and in other districts like Jasmine Crockett's.
Making an argument on hostile territory is literally what Charlie Kirk specialized in and was so good at. And it was that exact setting in which he was murdered. I think Charlie, not to put words in his mouth, he said it repeatedly. He was such a believer in engaging people who disagree and bringing arguments to places where often dissenting voices are shut down or are too afraid to go. That is the essence of free speech and persuasion, which is what he did on a regular basis. So I think that point from you and from Tommy is right on point, as a matter of fact, and is honoring the legacy and the memory of Charlie Kirk.
Guy and Tommy, it's great to see you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Always great to see you and hear your thoughts. We appreciate you. Thank you.